Namaste Yogis, hope you're well and welcome to my next class with Maria. So today we're focusing on a slow, steady strengthening flow, and we're focusing on strengthening the upper body, the shoulder girdle, the upper arms, the chest. So we won't be doing anything too dramatic, but as I say, sort of repetitive, slow, steady, strengthening movements to build strength in that area. If you've got two blocks, it would be handy at the end to use a couple of blocks. We're just going to use the belt at the beginning. If you haven't got a belt, it can be any, even like a dressing gown belt or something, because we're just going to use this to warm up the shoulders. So just standing maybe with the feet hip distance apart, first of all. Standing up straight, we're going to use the belt to warm up the shoulders. So hold the belt quite wide first of all. We're going to inhale the arms up and then feel the shoulders start to rotate as the arms come back, keeping the arms straight. So if you feel like you need to move the hands a bit wider, please do so. Inhale, come up and release back down. Inhale, up, rotate the shoulders, exhale down. Inhale, up, exhale down. And as you feel the shoulders starting to warm up, maybe you just move the hands a little bit closer, but don't compromise the move to do that. It really doesn't matter, you're just working wherever is right for your shoulders today. Inhale up, exhale down, a couple more times. Inhale up, feel the shoulders rotating, exhale back. Inhale up, exhale down, once more. Inhale up, exhale back. Inhale up, exhale down, good, and then release. Just move the belt out of the way. So coming to stand at the top of your mat. Let's just continue to warm up the shoulders and the legs now. So legs hip distance. Take the hands behind the back. First of all, squeeze the shoulder blades down the back and towards each other and gently lift the arms away from the back, trying not to stick the chest out, but pull the front of the chest in. Get the movement from the shoulders, from the back body. And then we start to bend the legs into a chair pose position, quite low. Bring the chest towards the legs in this kind of downhill ski position. Keep looking forward and lengthening. And then we start to release into a forward bend. You can keep a slight bend in the legs. Bring the arms further over the back by squeezing the shoulder blades further down the back and towards each other. Inhale, bend the legs, chest towards the legs, the thighs, shoulders back, and release into that forward bend. Inhale, bend. Exhale, fold forward. Last time, inhale, bend. Exhale, fold forward. Good, and release the arms down. Come into Uttanasana, lengthening the spine. Come onto the fingertips, half forward bend. Offer the chest forward. Exhale, release the hands down. And we're stepping back to a plank pose, a high plank. Shoulders over the wrists, heels back, chest forward. Try to rotate the inner elbows forward so that you're activating the full shoulder girdle. Pull the front of the chest in, the ribs in, the stomach in. Hold and feel that strengthening work here. And then we start to lift the hips up and back, coming into our first downward facing dog. So just adjust the feet as you need to. Make sure the fingers are spread evenly. The inner palms are pushing into the floor. The back is really lengthening, so you can keep a slight bend in the legs. Push the chest back towards the legs, lift the hips high, and then maybe you can start to release the heels towards the floor. So downward facing dog in itself is an upper body strengthener. So just breathing here, breathing to connect with your centre. Good, and then we look forward, step the right foot forward, nice long lunge, lengthen, and then we drop the back knee, and we inhale and come up. So just dropping into the hips, but ease the body back. We turn the palms up, bend the arms, bring the arms back in line with the body, but use the shoulders for that movement. So you're not just forcing the arms back, you're using the shoulders, and then we bring the arms out, the hands out to the side, keeping the elbows in against the ribs. So although this might seem like a simple move, if you're activating the shoulders correctly, this is a really good shoulder opener and a strengthener. Good, and then we release, lift the back knee, step back to plank, high plank, push back, downward facing dog, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Breathing deeply, feeling the body starting to warm up. Push the chest back towards the legs, lengthen the back. Look forward, step the left foot forward, low lunge, lengthen the spine. Exhale, drop the back knee. Inhale, come up. Drop into that right hip, feel the hip flexor opening, but make sure the spine is long. And again, we're coming into that shoulder strengthener. So we turn the palms up, we bring the arms back by moving the shoulder blades back, tuck the elbows into the ribs, and then we bring the hands out to the side. Keep squeezing the shoulder blades, pull the front of the chest in. Feel that strengthening, feel the scapula, the shoulder blade engagement as the muscles, the band of muscles around the scapula engages. The shoulder rotator cuff muscles, the rhomboids, the deltoids. Good, and then bring the hands down, lift the back knee, step back to a high plank. Good, engage your upper body strength. And then lift the hips up and back, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Good. And then we're going to bring the right shin forward. So we're going to step the right leg forward, bend the leg, bring the shin down so that the right knee is over on the right hand side, the right foot comes over to the left side of the mat so it's in line with the top of the left hip. And once you're there, if you find that that right hip is really lifted, you take the block, you place it under that right hip so that you've got something to push into, because we haven't really warmed up the hips yet. So make sure you're using the block to take any tension out of that right knee if you need to. Keep walking the left foot back, just check behind you, and then when you feel ready you can start to lengthen forward into that pigeon prep. So although this isn't upper body strengthening, we're just getting some balance into the flow by opening the hips, because we will be doing some work at the end of the class focusing on the hips. And apologies if you can hear my little dog barking in the background. The postman has obviously arrived. Breathing deeply, feeling that outer right hip opening, making sure that the left leg is active. So the left kneecap is almost lifting up, it's so active. And then we start to come back up. So here's a bit of strength work here. We bring the hands flat and then tuck the back toes, and then we push up and back, downward facing dog. Good, and then we look forward and we step the left foot forward. We bring the left shin down, so the left knee is over on the left side of the mat. The left foot comes over to the right, so it's in line with the top of that right hip. We walk the right foot back as far as we can. Maybe that left hip releases into the floor. If it doesn't, you take the block, place the block under that left hip, so you don't want to feel any pain or excess tension in that left knee, so you use that block to support you if you need it. And then once you feel comfortable, so the hips are central as well, we're not leaning over onto the left, you start to walk the hands forward and enjoy that feeling of that really deep opening in the outer left hip. Breathing into the back of the ribs in this position. So before we really get moving, just enjoy this static pose. Maybe take a moment to set yourself an intention for the practice ahead. Maybe it just means that you've got to be mindful of how your body is feeling today. Maybe you're feeling full of energy, or maybe you're feeling tired, achy. Well, however you're feeling, just try to adapt the practice slightly for what you need today. And then walk the hands back. Here comes the strength work. We push the hands down, tuck the back toes. We push up and back. Ardha Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Good. Breathing deeply. Good, and then we come forward into a high plank. And we gently drop the knees down. We're going to come down knees, chest and chin halfway. So we start to bend the elbows, the chest comes really far forward. You stop about halfway, you push back up and push back. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Again, inhale, come forward. Drop the knees, bend the elbows. Chaturanga, arms bent halfway down. Push back up. Push the hips up and back. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Once more like that. Inhale, come forward. So this is the repetitive strength work. We drop the knees. Chest comes forward as you bend the arms. Come down about halfway. You push back up. Lift the hips up and back. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Good. And we look forward, we step the right foot forward. Make sure the back leg is strong, lengthen the spine, the feet are isometrically drawing together. And then extend the arms forward, we lift up into a high lunge. And then bring the hands down by the hips. We're using that shoulder strengthening movement again. So we bend the arms, turn the palms up, squeeze the shoulders back. Imagine you had something between the shoulder blades. that you were trying to keep in place by squeezing and activating the scapula, the shoulder blades. Turn the hands out to the side and just feel that engagement in the back. Try and keep the front of the ribs pulled in. Front of the body pulls in, lower belly engages. Good, and then we release, bring the hands down. We step back to plank, and again we drop the knees down. Chaturanga arms, bend the arms about halfway. Push back up. Lift the hips up and back. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, come forward. Drop the knees. Bend the arms, keep the elbows in against the ribs. Push back up. Lift the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. And again, inhale, come forward. Drop the knees. Chest comes forward and down about halfway. We lift back up, slow and controlled. And then lift the hips up and back. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. And then we step the left foot forward. Low lunge, so we make sure that back leg is active. Feet are isometrically drawing together to strengthen the hips. And then we extend the arms forward and lift the body up. High lunge. Try and move the body back in line with the hips. Release the arms. So we turn the palms up, bend the arms, bring the arms back in line with the ribs. Shoulders squeeze back, strengthening. And then we move the hands out to the side. So although it doesn't look like much, it's not really a movement that we're going to really be doing a lot in everyday life. So although it looks fairly simple, it does create this strengthening and opening in the shoulders if you're doing it correctly. Lower body pulls in. Good, and then hands down. Step back to plank. Drop the knees. Bend the elbows, come halfway down, keep the elbows against the ribs. Push up, lift hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward, plank. Drop the knees, bend the elbows, come halfway down. Lift back up, push the hips up and back. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Take a few breaths here. So the body should be feeling nice and warm now. You should be noticing that engagement in the upper back and shoulders. In this downward facing dog, try to gently move the inner elbows forward to get that proper engagement in the shoulder blades here. Good, and then look forward. And your choice to either step or lightly hop to the top of the mat. Halfway forward, extending the spine. Exhale, release, full forward bend, Uttanasana. And then inhale, floating the body up. And exhale, hands to the heart center. So we're moving on. You can continue to use the dropping the knees to the floor. So it's like a knees, chest, chin variation of Chaturanga if that's better for you. But otherwise from now we'll be working more with the full Chaturanga with the knees lifted. But choose your options wisely. You can always alternate if you get tired. So hands to the heart center, inhale the arms up, reaching up, lengthening, exhale, hinge forward from the hips. Keep reaching and then release into that forward bend, Uttanasana. Inhale, offer the chest forward. Exhale, release back down. Step back to plank. And here we go, Chaturanga, halfway. Bend the elbows, keep the shoulders lifted. Push back up to plank. And then lift up and back, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Again, inhale, come forward, plank. Bend the elbows halfway down, Chaturanga. Push up, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Once more, inhale, plank. Exhale, Chaturanga. Halfway, keep the shoulders lifted. Push up, plank. Exhale, up and back, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. So slow and steady movements to build that strength. Raise the right leg. Look forward, step the right foot forward. Release the back foot, heel to heel alignment. Extend the arms forward. Lift up, warrior one. Release the arms down. So again, that strengthening shoulder movement. Turn the palms up. Squeeze the shoulder blades to bring the arms back. Arms come, or hands come out to the sides. Keeping that shoulder engagement. Lower belly pulls in. Ribs pull in. Good, and then hands down. Step back, plank. So your choice, you can always bring the knees down. Chaturanga, arms halfway. Push up, high plank. Exhale, up and back. Downward facing dog. Again, inhale forward to plank. Chaturanga. Inhale up, high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Once more, come forward. Chaturanga. Keep looking forward. Lift up, high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Release the shoulders. Push the chest back. Inhale the left leg up. Look forward. Step the left foot forward. Heel to heel alignment. Extend the arms forward. Lift up. Virabhadrasana 1, warrior 1. Moving the left hip back. Release the arms down. So turn the palms up. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Find that strengthening. Move the arms back in line with the ribs. Bring the hands out to the sides. So we're moving through these repetitive shoulder opening in a slow and controlled way to be mindful about the engagement of the upper back. Hands down, step back to plank. The Chaturanga again, so bend the elbows halfway down, keep shoulders lifted, push back up, high plank, push up and back, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Inhale forward, plank. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, plank. Exhale, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Once more, inhale forward. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, plank. Exhale, down dog. Good. And breathing. The shoulders should be really feeling nice and open now. And then we look forward. Your choice to step or hop. Forward. Lengthen the spine forward. Exhale, release down. Full forward bend, Uttanasana. Inhale, floating the body up. Exhale, hands to the heart center. And again, inhaling up. Exhaling, hinging, lengthening forward. Release, into that forward bend, Uttanasana. Inhale, offer the chest forward. Exhale, hands flat. Step back to plank and push straight back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Good. And we raise the right leg. Step the right foot forward. Heel to arch alignment with the feet. We inhale up. Warrior two legs. Hands to the hips. Now just make sure that right knee is tracking over the right toes. And the right knee is moving out to the right to help you tuck that right hip in and back. Okay, so a slightly different strengthening move now. We extend the arms straight up, turn the palms forward, and imagine you were on one of those weight machines in the gym where you have to pull the weights down. So slowly and mindfully you start to pull the arms down, engaging the shoulder blades. Imagine you were pulling weights down. Find that strengthening. And then we exhale, extend the arms all the way into full warrior two arms. Looking over the right shoulder. Good, and then bring that left arm up and over. Hands down, step back to plank. Push back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale the left leg up. Step the left foot forward, heel to arch alignment with the feet. Inhale, come up. Let's bring the hands to the hips. Find that alignment with the hips and the legs. So back leg strong, inner arch of the right foot lifted. Left knee is tracking over the left toes. Move that left hip down and back. Body nice and straight over the hips. Then we extend the arms up, palms forward. Imagine you're pulling down weights, so you're slowly engaging the shoulder girdle. You're pulling those weights down. And then slowly extend the arms fully, keeping the shoulder blades on the back. Look over your left shoulder. Good, and then bring the right arm up and over, hands down, step back to plank, push back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Good. Inhale, come forward. Bend the arms, Chaturanga. Lift up, high plank. Exhale, up and back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, up, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. We step the right foot forward, heel to arch alignment. Inhale, up, warrior two legs. Extend the arms straight up, palms forward. Exhale, slowly bend the elbows down, engaging the shoulder blades on the back. Extend the arms fully, look over the right shoulder. Bend deeper into that right leg, moving that right hip back. Inhale, straighten the right leg. And then we're coming into Trikonasana, so we move the hips to the left. We keep extending to the right. Release the hand to the shin or to the floor. And lift that left arm up. Push the ball of the right foot into the floor to help move the whole of the right hip back. Lengthen the right side of the body. Open the left. Reach that top arm. But even here, rather than just reaching that top arm up, see if you can release the shoulder back into the socket, and then you're lengthening and strengthening the arm from there. Good. Okay, and look down, bend into that right leg, hands down. Step back to plank. Chaturanga. Inhale up. Exhale up and back. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Inhale forward. Exhale Chaturanga. Inhale up. Exhale Ardha Mukha Svanasana. We step the left foot forward, heel to arch alignment. Inhale, come up for warrior two. We extend the arms straight up, palms facing forward, lunging deeply into that left leg. We exhale slowly and controlled, bringing the arms down into that cactus arm shape. Shoulder, girdle engaged, scapula moving back. Extend the arms fully, look over the left shoulder. Breathing deeply. Inhale, straighten the left leg. Trikonasana, hips to the right. Extend the arm, excuse me, to the left. And we release the fingertips to the shin or to the floor. Raise that right arm up. Remember to release the right shoulder back into the shoulder socket. And lengthen up with that right arm. Lengthening the left side of the body. Opening the chest, the right side of the chest, to the ceiling. Good, and look down, bend into the left leg. Step back to plank. And once more, Chaturanga. Inhale up. Exhale back. Forward to high plank. Bend the arms, Chaturanga. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Breathing deeply. And this time let's step the right foot forward, heel to arch alignment. Inhale, come up to warrior two for a breath. Virabhadrasana 2. And now we're going to extend the body over to the right. You can release the elbow to the inner knee or bring the fingertips to the floor. First of all, bring the left hand to the sacrum, the lower back. Really open the left side of the body. Pull the chest in. And then you can extend that left arm up, releasing the shoulder back down into the socket. And extend that left arm all the way along by the ear. Lengthening. Feeling that shoulder engagement here. So even though the shoulders feel like they're way apart, pull that right shoulder back, left shoulder in. Finding that shoulder girdle engagement in your side angle. Parsvakonasana. Good, and then look down, hands down, step back to plank. Okay, so you're welcome to bring the knees down here. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, lift up, high plank. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, high plank. Push back, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Breathing deeply. Use your downward facing dog to release the shoulders, to lengthen the spine, And then we step the left foot forward, heel to arch alignment. Inhale up, warrior two for a breath. And then we exhale, lengthen over to the left. You can release the elbow to the inner knee or fingertips down. Right hand to the lower back and focus, strengthening that back leg, lengthening the left side of the body, opening the right side of the chest. Pull the ribs in and then extend that right arm up. Find that shoulder engagement here. And then extend that right arm to the front, moving the left shoulder back, right shoulder in, and breathe. Good, and then release. Hands down, step back to plank, chaturanga, inhale up, exhale back, and breathe. Good. Okay, so just drop to the knees for a moment. So we're going to continue the strengthening work. We're going to come to dolphin pose, moving to plank, with the hands linked. So start to come down onto the forearms. Bring the elbows in a little bit narrower than the shoulders, and then you can move them out so that the skin is taut in the forearms, and that helps with the stability. Link the fingers, move the little finger out of the way. So push the forearms down, and then first of all let's come into a plank from here. So walk the feet back. You'll have to keep adjusting the feet so the bottom is not sticking way up, the bottom is in line. Engage the front of the body, push the forearms down. Shoulders about over the elbows. Then we start to lift the hips, walk the feet in a little way to come to that dolphin pose. So it's like downward facing dog, except you're on the forearms. You push the chest back. And then come forward again into plank, but you'll need to walk the feet back so the bottom isn't sticking up. Push the forearms down. Engage the front of the body. And again, walk the feet in, lift the hips up. Dolphin. Push the chest back. Forearms keep pushing down. Find that shoulder engagement here. Walk back to plank. Forearms down, look forward. Remember to breathe. We lift the hips up, walk the feet in. Dolphin pose. Push the chest back. You can always keep the heels lifted here, or keep a slight bend in the legs, but make sure you push that chest back towards the legs. Push the forearms down. Good. And then release the knees. Just come into a quick child's pose. Knees wide. Extend the arms forward. And breathe. Release the bottom into the heels. Use this as a restorative pose. Good, okay, so come back onto the hands and knees first of all. So let's just do a slightly easier variation of side plank from here. So let's Extend the right leg back, staying on the toes first of all, and then turn that right foot out so it comes flat. Shoulder over the left shoulder over the left wrist, turn to the right, raise that right arm up for this variation of side plank. Just noticing where that shoulder alignment is here in this variation. So that shoulder is over the left wrist, so when we're in the full variation you can find that same engagement with the shoulders. Good, and release. Come back to hands and knees, shoulders over the wrists. Extend the left leg back, then turn the foot to the side, bring the foot flat, and we turn to the left. Raise that left arm. Variation of side plank, but using that shoulder engagement. Good, and release. Okay, so we're going to come into the full side plank now. So let's come into a high plank. Shoulders over the wrists. Move the left hand more into the centre of the mat. Turn to the outer edge of the left foot. Stack the feet, flex the feet, and then release that right arm up. Lift the hips high. Open the chest. Maybe that right arm comes along by the ear. Keep the hips lifted. Good, and then release. High plank, change sides. Right hand comes into the centre. Keep the right shoulder over the right wrist. Turn to the outer edge of the right foot. Stack the feet. Stack the legs. Raise that left arm. Lift the hips high. Lengthen the chest. Maybe that left arm comes along by the ear. Keep squeezing the legs. Good, and then release. And drop down onto the knees. Good. Okay, so we're going to come up to the wall now because we've done so much shoulder opening. It's really good preparation for forearm balance. Now if that forearm balance name fills you with dread, don't worry, you can come into dolphin pose again and maybe just walk the feet in a little bit more and just try raising one leg and then the other and just seeing how that feels. So there's always options. So bring your mat quite close to the wall. Come down onto your hands and knees. So rather than this time having the fingers linked, we're going to bring the hands flat and have the hands about shoulder distance apart when we bring the forearms down. But you've got to keep engagement in the shoulder girdle. So I'll show you what I mean. So we bring the forearms down about shoulder distance apart. So from here you're almost rounding the spine, you're pushing the forearms down. Then you can push up to that downward facing dog on the forearms, so dolphin pose. See how that feels, chest keeps moving back. If you're staying in dolphin, maybe just see if you can walk the feet in a little bit and just raise one leg and see how that feels, and then raise the other. If you're coming into full forearm balance, again come into dolphin pose, walk the feet in so the shoulders come over the elbows, keep looking forward, hips high, raise one leg and light hops to come up, and then maybe you see if you can balance. Keep looking between the hands, push the forearms down, gently release, take a rest. So how did that go? Good. So one more time. So if you're just coming to dolphin, just try dolphin again. Make sure you raise one leg and then the other. If you're coming into forearm balance again, remember that shoulder engagement. So forearms in place. So what I mean by shoulder engagement, if I just collapse here, my chest starts collapsing towards the floor, I don't have any strength here. Whereas if my shoulders are engaged, my chest is lifted, I have that strength there. So we push the hips up, walk the feet in, keep the chest pushing back towards the legs, raise one leg, keep looking between the hands, and then a light hop. Look between the hands, maybe the feet come away from the wall and you balance. Good. Gently come down. Good. Okay. So I hope that went well. Now, it's a little bit of core work here, which will be an awful lot easier if you've got two blocks. So we're practicing preparation for an arm balance called Lolasana, which is quite challenging, and that's why you really need the blocks. So we're on the shins, but from here, just cross the right ankle over the left and then sit down. So the ankles are crossed, you're on your shins. You bring the blocks either side of the knees. And what we're attempting to do here is to lean back and on the exhale really pull the stomach in to engage your core bandhas, the Mula Bandha. And then we're going to try and lift the shins up. So we push down into the blocks, we engage the core, we lift up round the spine. Exhale and release down. Uncross the ankles. Let's just try from the other cross of the ankle. So this time the left ankle crosses over the right. So we've got the blocks here, it does make it slightly easier. We lean back slightly round the spine, engage your Mula Bandha. We push up, come onto the tops of the feet, round the spine, exhale down. Okay, so that's really just an exercise about thinking about your core engagement while using the upper body. We won't try today, but the full pose is where you try and lift the feet up off the floor as well. But we can work in stages on that. Okay, so just move the blocks to one side. Final pose. If you can come into full lotus, this will be a lot easier, but you can try it from half lotus. So I'm going to cross my left foot even, over to the right hip. And then the right foot up to the left hip, so I'm in full lotus. So as I say, if you can't try full lotus, try half lotus. Then we just start to bring the knees over to the right. So just lift the knees up, shift over to the right. The left hand comes in front, right hand behind you. And then here you're using that same movement that we just used, that core movement, sucking back, rounding the spine, push the hands down to lift the legs up. And release. Shift the knees back to centre. Release. So maybe try half lotus on with the other foot. So I'm going to bring my right foot across to the left hip first this time, which is slightly harder for me. And then the left foot to the top of the right hip. Pick the knees up, shift them over to the left. So this time the right hand comes down, left hip behind you. You suck that stomach in towards the back, engaging your root chakra and Mula Bandha. And then we push down to lift up. And then release. Well done. Bring the knees back to centre. And then you can gently release. Well done. So we've made it. So let's just lie down for a very brief Shavasana. Just bring both knees into the chest. Give yourselves a nice hug. Maybe just rock from side to side to ease out the back. And then your choice, you can just bring the feet down, keep the legs bent so you can release the lower back into the floor, or extend the legs fully. Make sure you turn the palms up so you can really release the shoulders into the back of the floor. Tuck the chin in slightly towards the chest to lengthen the back of the neck. Close the eyes and just relax for the next moment or so. Letting your breathing come naturally. Finding that stillness, letting the mind be still. Just try and completely relax the shoulders into the floor. There's no more work to do. Just that focus on your breath, finding your inner calm. And then slowly start to deepen your breathing, gently bringing your consciousness back into the room. Take a deep breath, bring the arms up and over behind you, stretch and lengthen away. Nice full body stretch. And roll over onto one side. Slowly push yourself up. Come to that comfortable seated position. Spine nice and long. Hands to your heart center, Anahata chakra. Take a deep breath in and let's chant one Om. Breathe in deeply. Exhale. Om Shanti. Namaste. Thank you, yogis. See you next time. Thank you.